Alrighty, y'all. UFC 306 is this Saturday at the Sphere, and I'm going to be giving my full card breakdowns. That's right, I'm going with full card breakdowns from now on. I'm going to start doing more research in my videos instead of just doing the main cards. Only 10 fights on this card. It's pretty lackluster. We all know that by now. Everyone's been, dogging on this card for a couple months now. So, what can you do? It's poorly represented on the Mexican side. It's very top heavy, only 10 fights, but whatever. What can we do about it? I think this will be pretty decent fights regardless. But anyways, let's just get into the fights. First fight we got on the night is Raul Rosas Jr. versus Aoriqileng. Rosas Jr. by first or second round submission. Aoriqileng is a decent striker, but I just don't think it's going to be necessarily enough to pose any real big problems for Rosas on the feet, or especially to finish him. And I just think Rosas Jr. is going to have, he's obviously going to have the grappling advantage, and I don't think Aoriqileng is going to have an answer for his grappling. And I think Rosas is just going to overtake him, going to overwhelm him, and get that submission. Going with rear naked choke, first or second round, leaning more towards first round, but we'll just have to see. All right, that's all I really have to say on that fight. Aoriqileng, I don't think that Rosas Jr. is going to be beat for a while. I do think there are some problems for Rosas Jr. in the bantamweight division, but I just don't think that Aoriqileng is going to be one of those people. I think it might take another couple of fights for Rosas to face some real big challenges. Then again, we did see him lose to Christian Rodriguez, so we'll never know. Anyways, on to the next fight. We got Edgar Chairez and Joshua Van. Don't like Joshua Van coming off of a knockout and coming back into this fight after a month. Probably poorly way to word, sorry. But he's coming into this fight after a month of after being knocked out a month ago. Goodness, I can't speak today. I don't like that, and I don't really know how he's gonna perform. We're only really gonna know when he gets in there. Is he gonna come back at the same kind of caliber fighter? Is he gonna come back with the same confidence, or is he gonna be a bit more hesitant, and is he gonna be a bit more timid to throw? We'll just have to see. But I do think that Joshua Van's still gonna win this fight. At the end of the day, he's still a really good boxer. That his skill set's not going anywhere. And I just don't think that Edgar Chairez is going to be another one of those guys to knock him out or stop him or pose any big threats on the feet or anything. He doesn't have really good wins either. Doesn't have the greatest UFC run, but I just think that Joshua Van's going to get it done. I'm leaning more towards a unanimous decision win for Joshua. I do see a third round KO TKO, but like I said, I just don't really know how he's going to come in and how he's going to perform, especially after being knocked out. Is he going to be more timid? Is he going to be shy to throw? Is he going to play it safe? Or is he just going to go for it? I don't know. We'll just have to see, but I think Joshua Van's going to win this fight still, regardless of coming off after a knockout, and I hope to see him build his way back up in the flyweight division. I think he'd be a really fun guy to watch. Anyways, next fight, Yasmin Jauregui versus Caitlin Souza. I don't know if I pronounced Yasmin's name right, but Jauregui, I think, is her last name. Anyways, Jauregui by decision. That's what I have. I noticed in watching her fights that she has a really solid right hand and that she's pretty good in the clinch. When she gets in the clinch, she doesn't just hold on there. She's throwing knees, she's throwing punches, she's engaging in that dirty boxing fight. And I really like that about her, especially in women's MMA. That's going to get you pretty far. And what I also noticed is that she lands a lot. Sometimes we tend to see female fighters just kind of punching at air. It's like they're having a shadow boxing session, or they're kind of throwing arm punches everywhere. She's precise. She lands that right hand a lot, and I do think that's going to win her this fight. I don't think she's going to finish Souza by any means. I don't think so. She could, but then again, we just don't know. Souza just doesn't look good. She hasn't been too good in the UFC, and she doesn't have a great record either. Yeah, I don't like how Souza looks, but I really do like the way that Jauregui looks. I really hope that's how you pronounce her name. If not, that's fine. We'll get over it. But yeah, like I said, I like how she looks, and she's crisp and accurate for a women's fighter. Anyways, next we have Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. This is going to be a pretty fun fight, I think. I really like how Bahamondes looks in the UFC. He is huge for the lightweight division. He's 6'3", and I kind of forget that every time I see him. For some reason, now I just think he's shorter. I think he's like 5'10", 5'11", and then he steps in the... I actually like watch his fights, and I'm like, oh, he's tall. Okay. He's going to be bigger than Torres, because Torres is 5'10". And that means also Bahamondes is going to have the range advantage. Bahamondes is pretty good with his kicks. He likes to keep his range. Bahamondes is there to be hit, though. He kind of does get tagged in his fights, but so does Torres. Torres is going to probably look to make it a bit more of a dirty fight, a bit more of a brawl in this one. I think just the question is Bahamondes going to be able to piece him up at range, or is Torres going to get inside and start landing shots? I think both could. I think both are likely to happen, but I just think Bahamondes is just a bit better of a striker. I think he's a bit cleaner. And I've seen more from him than from Torres, and I'm convinced more of Bahamondes than I am of Torres. So I'm just going to go with Bahamondes by a unanimous decision. Not too much to say on that one, but this next fight, Irene Aldana and Norma Dumont. I really like Irene Aldana. I think she's one of the very few interesting fighters in the women's bantamweight division. She is a dog. She brings it every time she fights, and she has a good amount of finishes too. And in her previous fight against Amanda Nunes, or a couple fights, I can't remember how many fights ago it was that she fought Nunes, but she really brought it to Nunes, and she made it that close fight in Nunes' retirement fight. And I really like how she looks in that department. And I'm going to go with her by KO or TKO in round 2 or round 3, kind of in that area. And just Norma Dumont, she has some good grappling, but like I don't think she's not like a monster grappler kind of thing. Like she's not going to just be spamming takedowns and a constant submission threat for Aldana. I just don't think that's going to happen. I think Aldana's going to make this a fight that Dumont isn't prepared for. I think she's going to make this a level of fight that she's not prepared for. And I think she's going to get that later finish. So Aldana by KO TKO. I really like how she looks, and I like I said, I love seeing those dog fights in women's MMA. Really good. Anyways, next one. O'Day Osborne. O'Day freaking Osborne. Wow, can't believe he made this onto the main card. And Ronaldo Rodriguez. Not much to say because it's O'Day Osborne. O'Day Osborne's gonna lose. That's that's all the logic you really need with this fight. But in all seriousness, I think Rodriguez by finish, probably maybe like a KO. Like I said, Osborne. Actually, no, Rodriguez has a decent amount of rear naked chokes on his record, so I'm going to go with submission. First or second round rear naked choke. Osborne's just, like I say, he's just not good. And Rodriguez has a lot of finishes on his record. You go look at his record. Like, he has like 2 or 3 decisions, and the rest are like finishes. So, either like KO or rear naked choke, and like a guillotine in there, I think, too. But, yeah, not too much else that needs to be said. Anyways, Esteban Ribovic and Daniel Zellweger. This is going to be a really fun fight, I think. And I'm going to go with Ribovic by second round TKO. Like I said, he is really going to look to make this a dogfight against Zellweger. Zellweger moves pretty good. He's, like you said, Zellweger is another tall lightweight, 6'1". He is rangy. He moves a lot. Similar to Bahamondes, but I think Bahamondes is a bit more stationary. Zellweger also uses his kicks pretty well, and he's just more active. So I think he's going to make this fight really hard for Ribovic. Ribovic is going to have to really work hard to get inside range and start tagging him. But I think that he's going to be able to make it happen. He's going to track him down, and a few others have been able to do this to Zellweger. A few others, even if Zellweger's won the fight, there have been guys that are able to get inside on him and land shots. And I think against Ribovic, it's going to be a bit harder to survive. It's going to be a bit harder to stay conscious. But I would be surprised if they went to a decision. But like I said, I think Rivovich is going to get it done. He doesn't have great grappling, though. That's the one thing. But like I said, I don't think this is going to play into that fight. I think it's going to be a primarily striking matchup. So that's my prediction for that one. I'm kind of moving a bit fast, but I don't mind. Now, this one scares me. Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. So I've seen a few people go with Diego Lopez, but, well, here, I'll just give the outline of this. Diego Lopez, on one hand, he's dangerous, he's a finisher, he has a lot of power in his hands, and he's a really good grappler. He's a really good submission artist, that is. He doesn't really wrestle that much, but he's really good with the submissions, especially off his back. Yeah, he's dangerous everywhere this fight goes, and he showed that he's got it. He's shown that he's got the dog in him. When especially with that fight against Movsar Evloev, he wasn't giving up. He wasn't letting up. He was taking that fight to Evloev the entire time for all 3 rounds, and I'm really loving the way he looks. But on the other hand, you have Brian Ortega. I think Brian Ortega is a cleaner striker. Now, Lopez definitely has a lot more power and is a bit more dangerous, but Ortega is a bit crisper. He's still not a great boxer. He's still there to be hit, but he does have a bit more technique. But then, again, that might not matter a whole lot. And Ortega's more proven in the UFC. He has better, he's been using his jiu-jitsu for longer. Like I said, I could see Ortega winning this fight 100%. I could see Ortega upsetting Lopez because this is a huge step up in competition for Lopez. He's fought Yusuf, and then he fought Danny Ige, went to a decision with Danny Ige. Now, boom, he's going up to number 3, Brian Ortega, to fight him. And I do think that Brian Ortega could beat him back. But I just think that Ortega's time is coming. Yes, he did beat Yair Rodriguez, but Yair's not a great grappler. Yeah, whatever. He got a triangle submission against Josh Emmett. Woo, whatever. Don't care. Okay? Thank you. But he got dropped in that fight. He was getting pieced up. And I just think against Lopez is going to get into the clinch with him. Once you get into the clinch with Lopez, you're not going to have a good time, right? He's going to get in that tight clinch, and he's going to start unloading all these uppercuts, and I don't know that Ortega is going to be able to handle it. We saw the last time they tried to make this fight that Ortega got sick trying to make weight, and Ortega is not looking to stay at featherweight for long. He's going to move up soon. His own words. He's going to move up after this fight, regardless of the outcome, to lightweight. And like I said, I just think he's always been really big for the featherweight division, but I just think that he just can't do it anymore, and he's going to have to move up to lightweight. This might be an out with the old and in with the new situation. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Brian Ortega by a TKO in round 1 or 2. Like I said, I could very well see both of these fighters winning, and I bounced back and forth on this for a long time, but I just think that the most likely option is going to be Diego Lopez by first or second round TKO. He's going to bring it to Ortega, and I don't think that Ortega is going to be ready for that anymore. Anyways, that is it for that one. Next one, Valentina Shevchenko and Alexa Grasso 3. I'm going to go, excuse me, with Alexa Grasso by unanimous decision. I think she's going to have gathered data from both of the previous fights, and I think that she's going to make it happen more effectively in this third fight. Shevchenko is getting older, she's out of her prime years. She's been dominant for a long time, but, her previous title fight before this was really close, and you can tell she's starting to lose it a little bit, and Grasso's younger, and she's got some really sharp boxing. And like I said, I just think that she's going to come out more confident and more solid in her game plan and ready to use that against Shevchenko better in this third time around. And I just think it's time for a new era at women's flyweight. And like I said, Shevchenko's slowing down. She's probably got a few more fights, like 3-4 more fights left in her, I'd say. I don't know. And again, I don't really know. Jessica Andrade is still around. Holly Holm's still around. So then again, I could be talking out my butt here. But like I said, I'm just repeating myself at this point. Grasso's got the slick boxing. She's gathering data from both the previous fights, and she's just going to make it happen more effectively this time around. And there will be no controversy. There will be no split decision crap 10-8 round given to Grasso. So, anyways, on to the main event. We got Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili. So, the fight has two different outcomes here. Sean O'Malley by KO, TKO, or Merab by decision. Like, that's what every camp you live in. I think so. I could very well see both happening, and we've seen this kind of thing happen before. You know, we just had Bilal beating Leon Edwards, but then again, we have Sean O'Malley knock out Aljamain Sterling to win the title. So we've had varying degrees of striker versus grappler working out. A lot of people are more on the side of Sean O'Malley. People are wanting to pick Sean more. They think he's going to knock out Merab, and I could, like I said, very well see that happening. I could also see Merab just spamming takedown after takedown. He's going to fail like most of them. That's just how his fights go. But I just think maybe the pressure, he might not be able to give Sean a lot of room to work. We saw it in the second Cheeto fight, when Cheeto was actually coming at Sean would just shell up a little bit. And we saw what happened to Peter Yan when Merab started striking at him. Peter shells up, Merab takes him down, mauls him for 5 rounds. And I think a similar thing could happen to Sean O'Malley. So he has a similar tendency to shell up, but also I think he's really good. He's a lot better at distance management. And like I said, he's a lot taller, he's a lot longer, and he's way more accurate with his shots. And Merab's been caught in a couple of his fights, the Marlon Moraes fight and the Henry Cejudo fight. He's been caught and dropped in the Marlon fight. And I think at the end of the day, Merab's cardio is his only weapon. Yes, I say that. If Merab had even just above average cardio, he wouldn't be where he is today. Like, he has stupid amounts of cardio. Who else is shooting 49 takedowns in a single fight? Who else? No one. Merab is, though. Khabib is the only one who's kind of come close to that. And Khabib has shown small bits of getting tired. Merab has not. All right? I think his cardio is the only thing holding him up at this point. His grappling isn't good. His grappling's not good. I said it. His grappling is just relentless, and his grappling is nonstop. He doesn't land most of the takedowns that he shoots, and when he does land takedowns, he doesn't do much with them. He doesn't have a submission threat, he doesn't have threatening ground and pound, and he can't hit mat returns like Khabib does, or he doesn't have big positional grappling like Makhachev, or, you know, the submission threat like Oliveira. He's just relentless, and he's just like a bulldozer, right? And I think Sean's going to be a really difficult fight for him. And at the end of the day, all these things being said, I think Sean O'Malley is going to get a 3rd or 4th round TKO. Merab's hittable, like I said, and I think Sean is just way too accurate. He's the most accurate striker Merab has faced. And I think Sean is going to be able to shake him off and be able to gather data throughout the fight and be able to use that to start slowly adjusting to Merab's pace and Merab's tendencies. And I think eventually, throughout a couple rounds, Sean's going to figure him out. Sean's going to see something coming, and he's going to hit him. He's going to hit him with something, and I think Merab's going to be TKO'd. Like I said, Merab isn't dangerous on the ground. Merab isn't a real wrestling or jiu-jitsu threat. He's just relentless and has dumb cardio. So I think Sean's going to be able to work past that, and I think he's going to knock him out, or TKO him rather, in either the 3rd or the 4th round. So anyways, that is my full card predictions for UFC 306 in the Sphere. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next time. Peace.